Hi everyone. I hope all of you are doing fine and working hard for your NEET exam. Today we will study about one important topic. We will study about alternating current and circuit associated with it. So we will study about AC circuits, alternating current. So let's start. Let's start with the name of the topic, that is our alternating current. Now first thing, you tell me what thing comes in your mind when we say word alternating. Alternating means something which will change. For current, what can change? For current, direction will change. The current which changes its direction is known as alternating current. For example, for some time current will flow in this direction. Therefore, some time current will flow in opposite direction. Such current will be known as your alternating current. Actually, till now you studied about current, but that current was direct current. In that situation, what was happening? Your direction of current was fixed. Your current was flowing only in a particular direction. But here what will happen? Direction of current will change. That's why name is alternating current. So we will start slowly and slowly. So first thing, actually in physics we study about two types of current. We will get two types of current. One current is known as direct current. In short, we can write DC, direct current. And second will be our alternating current. In short form, you can write AC. Now, what is property of direct current? Here your direction do not changes. Direction remains constant. That means direction will not change. We can represent direction with the help of plus or minus. So either it will be always plus or either it will be always minus. Its sign will not fluctuate. It's not like that it will plus then minus, no. Whatever the direction it will have, that direction will be fixed. Similarly, if I talk about AC, AC means alternating current. So here what will happen? Direction changes. Direction changes means first it will be plus, then it will again become minus. Then again from minus it will become plus. So your direction will keep on alternating. Your direction will keep on changing. That's why name of this current is alternating current. Now with the help of some examples, I will give you idea how to identify that a given current is DC current or given current is AC. For example, let's start. For example, if I give you one current like this. This is time. This is current. Can you tell me which type of current is this? I think everyone can say very easily, because you can see every time direction of current is not changing. Every time it is positive. That means this current which you are seeing here is DC. Similarly, this is the type of current that you get from battery also. That is your DC current. Similarly, someone is saying, sir, if I have a current, for example, same thing I am doing, you have to tell me now which type of current is this. Yeah, obviously, sir, this is AC current. Why this is AC? Because you can see for some time this is plus, then again it is minus, then again it is plus, then again it will come minus. So plus minus, direction is, sign is changing, direction is changing. That's why this current is your alternating current, AC. Okay, no problem. Now next example, just you tell me, if I talk about one more example. Tell me, which type of current is this, AC or DC? So students feel that, sir, value is fluctuating, value is changing, so this may be AC current. No, always remember, for AC condition is not about value, condition is about direction. Here also you can see direction every time remains same. If you take this as positive, always value is changing, but direction is not changing. So this current is also our DC current. You tell me one more example. Which type of current is this? So again, don't think that sir, this is a straight line. No. Again, you have to think in the same manner. Here if you see, direction of current is again changing, plus minus plus minus. So again this is your AC. Again this is your alternating current. So with the help of these examples, I am just telling you how to identify that a given current is AC or a given current is DC. For example, you tell me one more situation. This is your again current. Which type of current is this? Think. So people think that sir, up down, up down, up down. So this is again AC current. No, this is again your DC current. Why I am saying again this is DC? Because still every time its value is positive only. If you see everywhere, nowhere it crossed your this axis. Nowhere it is negative. Again every time, yeah, it is changing its value. But its direction is not changing. That means value is always positive. That means again this will be your nothing. This will be again your DC current. Similarly, next example, this is the last example to just give you idea. You tell me, which type of current is this? Sir, value constant, value constant, value constant, value constant, value constant. Again, don't think this is DC. This is again your AC current, because you can see again positive then negative, positive then negative, positive then negative. So what is the main condition to identify whether a given current is AC or DC? Simple thing is there. DC means direct. Direct means direction will be always constant. It will be always plus or it will be always minus. If direction is not changing, if it is not going from plus to minus or from minus to plus, that current will be always your DC current. How to identify AC current? In AC current, what will happen? Direction will fluctuate. Direction will change. That's why name is alternating current. Alternate. Direction will be alternate. For some time positive, then negative. Again positive, then again negative. Again positive, then again negative. So this is... So till now I told you how to identify a given current is AC or DC. And I told you many examples. Many examples we talk for DC also. Many examples we talk for AC. And obviously we'll study about AC here. Now all types of AC we don't have to study. We have to study a special type of alternating current. We have to study a special type of alternating voltage. And that will be our sinusoidal current. That will be our sinusoidal voltage. So I will tell you which AC you have to study. We have to study throughout this chapter only one type of alternating current we are going to study. That alternating current will be written as I equal to I naught sine omega t. Omega will represent frequency of that AC. You know, if anything changes, it will have frequency. Similarly, we can represent voltage also associated with that. So AC voltage will come as V naught sine omega t. I naught is also known as peak voltage, peak current, maximum current, peak voltage, maximum voltage. Omega here is the frequency, and I is the current at any time t, V is the voltage at any time t. And if you want to represent with the help of diagram, you will get diagram for current as this is our basic, this is the form of alternating current that you have to study. That is sinusoidal. It will be like this. That is your same as graph of sine theta. So you can see here plus minus plus minus. So this type of alternating current we have to study in this chapter, where your current will be sinusoidal. Now we will talk about some important terms which are associated with. So there can be infinite types of alternating current, but all alternating current we don't have to study. We have to study only a specific type, that is our sinusoidal alternating current. I equal to I naught sine omega t. What is I naught? Peak current, maximum current. What is omega? Since it will alternate, so it will have frequency, so that is omega here. And I represent current at any time t. Same we can write for voltage also. Now we are going to study about some important terms associated with alternating current that we are studying right now. So first thing, this is the alternating current which we are talking about. Time will be there, I will be there, and this is how your alternating current will be there. Now some important terms are there which you have to remember also, which you have to keep in your mind also, because these terms are asked directly in your NEET exam. So just see. So first term, whenever any value changes, we talk about average of that value for a complete time period. You can say time period will be from here to here. So what is average value of our AC, sinusoidal AC, average current for a complete time period, that is 0 to t. So if you calculate for complete time period, you will get average current 0. Why you get 0? Because this is same is plus here, same is minus here. So when you will find average, this plus and minus will cancel each other. You are going to get average value of AC for a complete time period will be always 0. So we never talk about this average. We talk about average for half of the time period. And if you calculate, this average will come 2 I naught by pi. What is I naught? Peak current, maximum current. And third important term, which is important here, which is very, very important here, which will be used later on. Everywhere we'll talk about that thing only. That is your RMS current, IRMS. So IRMS will come I naught by root 2. What is I naught? Maximum current by root 2. So till now I told you three important terms associated with your AC current. First will be your average current for complete time period. For complete time period, that average will come 0 because same plus and minus. But for half time period, it will not come 0. So for half time period, when it is calculated, average value of AC for half time period comes 2 I naught by pi. And with most important term which will be used everywhere will be RMS current. RMS means root mean square. That is IRMS will come I naught by root 2. So what is I naught? Maximum current. What is this I naught? Maximum. Same thing you can write for voltage also. If AC voltage is there, average for complete time period will come 0. For half of time period it will not come 0. How much it will come? 2 V naught by pi. Similarly VRMS will come V naught by root 2. Okay, no problem. Now you will think, sir, from where all these values are calculated? All these values are calculated with the help of maths. I will tell you basic way to calculate the value. And then we'll also talk about some questions which are asked from here. So let's see here. First thing, how to find average value? How that average value came, sir, 2 I naught by pi. So let's see how we'll be talking about. So there is a mathematical formula which you have to keep in your mind. That is, whenever average of current is asked, any function we can talk, but here we are talking about average of current. So when average current is asked during any time period, for example from 0 to t, you can find this average with the help of integration. Integration I dt upon integration dt. So if you use this result, you have to keep this mathematical formula in your mind. You have to remember this. Average value of any function. Tomorrow if voltage will be there, you will write voltage. Average value of any function for a complete time period, we can use this result to find out the average value. And when this result is used for complete time period, value comes 0, which we studied right now. For half of time period, this result will give you 2 I naught by pi. But this is not important. Important will be always your RMS value. Now be 100% focused. See what I am trying to tell. Just see. Third, the most important thing which is asked. They will ask you, find RMS value of the given current. Just now we studied that RMS value came I naught by root 2. How it came I naught by root 2? There is a proper way to calculate RMS value. So just see how that RMS value is calculated. RMS current. I'm talking about IRMS. So you have to see its name. RMS current. RMS means root mean square. Name is root mean square. But process is reverse. Actually, RMS are three operations here. Root is one operation. Mean means average one operation. Square is one operation. But your operation name is RMS, but your operation will be reverse. SMR. So root mean is square. So first what you will do, you will square. Whose quantity RMS you want to find? Current. So first square the current. You square the current. Then find mean. Mean will be calculated again with the help of integration. From where to where? 0 to t. From 0 to t. Then final result. So first square. Then mean. Just now we studied the formula how to find average with the help of integration. So square. Then mean. Then root. This is your RMS. And here when we put the value I equal to I naught sine omega t, we get from there, if we put I equal to I naught sine omega t, from there only you will get this IRMS as, after doing lots of integration, you'll be getting this IRMS as I naught by root 2. So this is the basic formula which you have to remember. You have to keep this result in your mind. This is how we can find out RMS value. IRMS means root mean square. So first step will be square, reverse process. Square whose RMS you want to find? Current. So square the current. Then find mean with the help of integration. Then finally do under root. So from here we get IRMS as I naught by root 2. But you tell me, is it possible to do integration every time? Question will be asked in your NEET. Will you do integration every time? No. You have to use your little bit of mind. For example, I will tell you one example. Tomorrow someone gave me current. This is a previous year NEET question only. 3 sine omega t plus 4 cos omega t. And someone asked me, find RMS value of this current. If we start doing with the help of integration, it will take 2 pages and we'll be not able to get answer also. So always remember, IRMS, this is again your sinusoidal current. Only difference 2 parts are there. So first always calculate maximum current. I'll be saying, sir, for sinusoidal current, I know RMS. I naught by root 2. Maximum value of this you have to find. And I think it is same as your SHM, or you know sine and cos will be perpendicular. So its maximum value will come under root of 3 square plus 4 square by root 2. So here RMS value will come 5 by root 2. For example, you tell me one more situation. If I give I equal to 5 sine omega t plus 12 cos omega t. Tell me RMS value. Tell me fastly. So no need to do integration. Directly, sir, 5, 12. Their maximum value we know. Same as SHM. Amplitude you know how to find. Both are perpendicular. So what will be their value? 5 and 12 will give you 13. So RMS will come 13 by root 2. So this is how we can talk about RMS value of current. So till now what I told you, first thing which I told you, how to know whether a given current is AC or DC. AC means sign will change, DC means sign will not change. Value may change for DC also, but sign will not change. Then second thing I told you, important terms associated with your alternating current. We have to study a specific type of alternating current, that is sinusoidal alternating current. I equal to I naught sine omega t. Its average value for complete time period 0. Its average value for half of time period, tell me 2 I naught by pi. And RMS value, which is the most important. What is full form of RMS? Root mean is square, but operation is reverse. So first I square, then find average with the help of integration, then do under root, answer will come. So these are some of the questions which we got from here. Now we are going to study about behavior of different type of devices in our AC circuit. For example, till now you studied about how inductor behaves when it is connected to a battery. Similarly, you studied about capacitor when it is connected to the battery. You studied about inductor when connected to a battery. Now we are going to move further and we'll talk about with same resistance, same capacitance, same inductance. If they are connected to an AC source, then how they will behave? Then what are the various quantities which will come there? So we'll talk about behavior of three devices: resistance, capacitance and inductance, when our AC voltage will be there. So first let's start that behavior with resistance. For example, if someone is saying, sir, if I have some resistance connected to AC source, then how that resistance will behave, how to get current, how various things will come, we'll talk there. So let's draw the circuit. This is the resistance which is connected to AC source. This is how we represent AC source. You can see same as sinusoidal symbol will be there. That is this AC source voltage we know. We can write voltage of this AC source, that will be V will be your V naught sine omega t. This is what we have studied just now. This is the meaning of AC voltage. Now same voltage will come across this resistor. So this resistor will get current. So I will be coming as V by R. That means V naught by R. You can take V naught and R together. Sine omega t. V naught is maximum voltage by resistance will give you maximum current. So you'll get the equation for current. I will be coming as I naught sine omega t. Again you can see this current is again your sinusoidal. Voltage sinusoidal, current sinusoidal. If you draw the graph for voltage, this is how you have voltage, and same thing you have for current also, only values will be different. Here VT graph, here IT graph, and you can see since both are having sine omega t, that means we can say from here current and voltage both are in same phase. I think everyone knows, since both are sine and sine, that means phase difference between current and voltage, phase difference between here phase difference between I and V will be 0. So your phase difference will be 0. So what happens in resistance? If you connect resistance to AC source, you will have AC source V naught sine omega t, current will come in the same manner I naught sine omega t, and current and voltage both will be coming in same phase. If your current is sinusoidal, voltage will be also sinusoidal, or voltage is sinusoidal, current will be also sinusoidal. Now easy, nothing to worry. Now next we will move. That is, we will talk about our second device, that is capacitor. Someone said, sir, if you connect capacitor to AC source, then what will happen? So this is our capacitor, again connected to AC source, its capacitance will be C. Again you can write, you know, for capacitor you can write charge, Q will be equal to CV. But now this voltage is not constant, this voltage will change. So if voltage will change, you can put that voltage there. So this will be coming as CV. What will be your V? V naught sine omega t. What we want in the circuit? We want current. So I'll be saying, sir, charge is known, so current I can get dq by dt. If you differentiate this, CV naught will be your constant, and sine omega t differentiation will give you omega cos omega t. I think everyone knows sin theta in differentiation will be cos theta, and since omega is there, so this omega will come here. Now from here, you can write the current. Now be focused. See something which I will do here. Sir, I can write this quantity as omega c v naught cos omega t. Or if I want this, I can write this also as I equal to v naught upon 1 by omega c into cos omega t. Now, are you getting some idea from here? This is coming same as your resistance. It's not like resistance. In resistance, we got v naught by r into something was there. Here also we are getting like that. That means we can name this quantity. This is known as reactance of capacitor. Capacitor will not have resistance, but if you apply AC now, it will react to it. Actually, this is behaving same as your resistance. When resistance was there, you got V naught by R. What you are getting here? V naught upon 1 by omega C. So this 1 by omega C is behaving as resistance, but it's not resistance. It is just reaction. When you are applying AC to capacitor, it is reacting to it. So this is known as, which you are seeing here, 1 by omega C is known as XC, reactance of capacitor. So XC will be 1 by omega C. So now your I will become V naught by XC into cos omega t, and this is same as your V naught by R I naught. Here also it will come. So I will come I naught cos omega t. So same manner there are here what we will get 1 by omega c. Achha, can you see current and voltage? In resistance they were in same phase. Are they in same phase here also? No. So this is sine function, this is cos function. Both are not in same phase. Or if you want, you can write this. You can write this as, I'm just writing here. You can write I as I naught sine omega t plus pi by 2. That means you can see current is here having extra pi by 2. That means what we can say, in the case of resistance, voltage and current both were in same phase. You tell me, are they in same phase, voltage and current same phase in capacitor? No. Or for capacitor, current has having more angle. That means for capacitor, I leads, current leads voltage by how much? By pi by 2. That means I will just remove here. That means I phase difference, that is phase difference between I and V will be pi by 2. And who will be leading? Current will lead. By how much? Pi by 2. That means if you draw the graph for voltage, this is the graph for voltage, this is the graph for, this is sine graph for voltage, and this is the graph for your current. That graph will be cos graph. And you can see obviously it is leading because the time it gets maximum value, already it is maximum. So that's why your current will lead. So what we understood till now, in resistance, current, voltage in same phase, I equal to I naught sin omega t, V equal to V naught sin omega t. But in the case of capacitor, something changed. Sir, current and voltage are not in the same phase, and capacitor is also reacting. Something is coming in capacitance which is same as resistance, but it is not resistance, it is just reactance. That is XC. XC will be equal to 1 by omega C. And current here is leading the voltage. By how much it is leading? Pi by 2. So this is all about our capacitor behavior. Now we'll move to third, our important device. I think you know that device will be our inductor. So same inductor is there, it is connected to one AC source. You can see here, again this AC source will have voltage V equal to V naught sine omega t. Now this AC source will have self inductance L. Now you know this voltage will come across this, and you can write voltage across inductor. Voltage will come, voltage across inductor we already know, sir, that will V will be equal to L into di by dt. What is V? V from here we'll get as V naught sine omega t, that will be L into di by dt. We want to find current. What we can do, we have to integrate. Now this will become V naught sine omega t dt, that is L into di. Integrate both sides. When you integrate, this will give you minus V naught will remain there, and this will give you minus cos omega t by omega, and that side will come L into I. Now I'm just writing here. I can write something from here. From here I can write I as V naught. Omega is already there, you can bring this L here. So omega into L. Minus will be there, minus will adjust, nothing to worry. Minus cos omega t. First you tell me, is something like resistance came here? Yeah sir, there V naught by R. In the case of capacitor, V naught upon 1 by XC. Here what is coming? V naught upon R. R is coming as omega L. So this is not actually resistance again. Again this is reactance. This is how inductor reacts. So this quantity which you see here, this is known as reactance of inductor, XL. XL will be equal to omega L. And so from here I can write I equal to minus V naught by XL into cos omega t. And we will something adjust this. We can write this as V naught by XL. This we can write as, minus will be here, and we can write this as cos omega t, we can write as sine pi by 2 minus omega t. I think everyone knows sine 90 minus theta is cos theta. So same thing I am writing here. And just I will send this minus inside. So sign will be reversed. V naught by XL I can write as I naught, and this sine, this will go inside. So this will become omega t minus pi by 2. Now you tell me. So is the final result. Does current and voltage are coming in same phase? No. Now current is having minus here. That means angle for current is less. That means in inductor, when you connect inductor in AC circuit, current lags voltage by pi by 2. So this is what we have got here. So I will just revise all these things. Be focused, understand. First thing, sir, we studied about behavior of resistance, inductance, capacitance in DC circuit, but now we are connecting it to AC circuit. What are the new things which will come? First thing, if you connect resistance, current and voltage will be in same phase. Phase difference between current and voltage will be 0. Second situation, so if you connect capacitance, sir, we never studied about resistance of capacitance, but when you connect capacitance to AC source, it offers reactance, it reacts to AC. So we get one quantity which is known as XC, reactance of capacitance, XC. XC will be equal to 1 by omega C. And here, sir, current will lead. Current leads voltage by pi by 2 in the case of capacitor. Third situation, inductor. Inductor also, sir, never has resistance. But here what will happen? to AC it will react. So again it will have reactance, XL. What will be XL? Tell me, what is XL? Omega L. And here also current and voltage not in same phase. Here reverse of capacitor. In capacitor current was leading. In inductor current will lag. Current will lag voltage by how much? Pi by 2. Now we are going to study about different types of circuit that we will get in our AC. Till now we studied about only resistance, then only capacitance, then only inductance. Now we will combine them. For example, if resistance and capacitors are there, then what will happen? Resistance and inductance is there, then what will happen? Or if all three are there, then how to deal with that? So now we are going to talk about different type of circuits which you will get here. So first situation is our RC circuit. First one will be our RC circuit. What is meaning of RC circuit? You will get resistance, you will get capacitance. So you will get a circuit where one resistance will be there and one capacitance will be there, and these two will be connected to an AC source. Okay, no problem. Now you know this resistance will have R, capacitance will have reactance, that is your XC, which you can also write as 1 by omega C. So if value of C is given, they will give you frequency for this. If frequency for this is known, you can write omega and you can calculate XC, but many times they will directly give you value of XC. And this will be connected to an AC source whose voltage I am writing as V. First you tell me, which voltage is this? Always remember, for AC source, whenever we write, we always talk about RMS value. This is the RMS voltage which you are seeing here. Now two things here. So this voltage is RMS voltage, and if X is given to you directly, you can use. Otherwise they will give you its frequency. So if frequency is given, you can find omega, and with the help of omega and C you can find XC, and you can solve from there. Okay, no problem. Now someone asked me, sir, what will be potential drop across these two? Or someone asked me, what will be current in the circuit? What will be RMS current in the circuit? What will be maximum current in the circuit? So just see how to deal with this. Actually tell me, can I write like this? V will be equal to VR plus VC. Means this voltage will be equal to potential drop across resistance plus potential drop across capacitance. You cannot write right now, because all will be not in same phase. That is the difference. In your simple DC circuit, you used to use directly Kirchhoff's law. You cannot use here right now. You cannot write. I cannot write. If someone asks me, can I write V equal to VR plus VC? You can never write, because here current and voltage both are not in same phase. So you have to understand in little detail. Just see here. Actually what will happen? So you have to go with graph. What diagram? That diagram will help you. And same diagram we will use every time. So if you look like this, you'll be simply saying, okay, let's see how to deal with this. I'll be saying, sir, if you talk about resistance. So for resistance, let's assume voltage is like this. This is VR. This is known as phasor diagram, but no need to go in that much detail. Just see from here how I am drawing this. For example, for resistance, this is VR. You know, for resistance, current and voltage both will be in the same phase. Just now we studied. That means if this is VR, current will be also in the same phase. Actually, current in the circuit will be same because you have connected in series. So same current will come. This is also current for capacitor also. But for resistance, current and voltage both will be in the same phase. What will be voltage of capacitor? How to draw voltage of capacitor? If you remember, you studied, in capacitor current will lead voltage by pi by 2. That means your voltage current will lead means voltage will lag. Voltage will be behind the current. That means this is your VC. Again you can see this is how. So we assume one direction of current. Let's assume this is the current. For resistance, voltage will come in the same direction. And for capacitor, voltage will lag, current will lead by pi by 2. That means voltage will lag by pi by 2. So lag, you can see it is lag. So if you talk net voltage, this is your V net. That is, your V net will be under root of VR square plus VC square. This is your net voltage. So this is what I was telling you. You cannot write this V as V1 plus V2 or VR plus VC, because both will not be in same phase. So that's why we'll be getting V net as this. Now from here we can use. That means we got V net as under root of VR square plus VC square. V net you can write as I into Z. Always remember, when inductance, when resistance is also there, reactance is also there, we cannot call resistance of the circuit, we cannot call reactance of the circuit. We talk about one more term which is known as impedance. If only resistance is there, you can say resistance. If only reactance is there, you can say reactance. But if someone is saying, sir, both are there in the circuit, you will not talk about resistance, you will not talk about reactance, you will name another term which is known as impedance, which we represent by Z. So I into Z, that is net resistance or net reactance. This will be under root of I, VR you can write I into R. VC you can write I into XC. So for here you will get Z of the circuit. Z of the circuit will be coming as under root of R square plus XC square. This is the impedance of your RC circuit. So this is one thing. And why we are calculating this impedance? Because if you know Z, you can get RMS current. Because I know I RMS will be equal to V RMS by Z. You can treat RMS same as your DC current. So I RMS will be your V RMS by Z. You can put the value. And once you know I RMS, you can find maximum current also. That is peak current, root 2 times of RMS current. So this is how we have talked about. Now understand one more point. So first thing, what is impedance of yours? So first question which is asked, you tell me, does this V will be equal to VR plus VC? No. Why? Because both are not in same phase, both are at perpendicular, both are at 90 degree. So V will be equal to under root of VR square plus VC square. You can see here. Z of the circuit will be under root of R square plus XC square. With the help of Z, you can find IRMS, VRMS by Z. Whatever voltage here given will be your VRMS. If you got VRMS, you can find peak current also. So this is how we have talked about. Now, for RC circuit, this is your new phase difference. This is your V net. This is your V net. This is your current. So this angle is the new phase difference between voltage and current, which you can again find. You can write, if you want, you can write tan phi. That is phase difference between current and voltage. This is your overall current. This is your voltage. So we can write this, and this you can write simply as perpendicular by base. You can see tan phi will be perpendicular by base. That means you can write VC by VR, or you can write VC as I into XC, connected in series, so same current will go. VR you can write as I into R. So from here you can get tan phi. That is this is the phi phase difference which we get here. That is XC by R. But here more important is not this tan phi. Here we talk about one more quantity which we will study later on also, which is known as power factor. Power factor. Power factor means cos phi. And this cos phi you can find, same phi. Cos phi will be, cos theta you can write base by hypotenuse. So what is your base? VR. What is your hypotenuse? Under root of VR square plus VC square. And if you put here same manner, you will get this as R by Z. So what are the important points that we got in RC circuit? First important thing, this V will be not equal to VR plus VC. This V will be equal to under root of VR square plus VCA square because both are at 90 degree. That is your V net. Second important point, this will have impedance Z. Z will be under root of R square plus XC square. If you know Z, you can find RMS current. If VRMS is given, you will get IRMS. If you get IRMS, you can get peak current also. Next is the phase difference. Achha, can you tell me who is leading here? Still current is leading, but now lead is less due to resistance. Previously, if only capacitor was there, current was leading by pi by 2. But now you can see this voltage. Still current is leading, but angle is less than 90 degree. So sometimes questions are also asked. Current leads the circuit, but angle is less than 90 degree. Which type of circuit it is? We will get RC circuit. So this is how we can talk. Tan phi you can find perpendicular by base, that will come XC by R, but more important is your power factor. I think you know also cos phi will be equal to R by Z. R by Z, or we can calculate also. So this is how we have talked about RC circuit. Now let's see one question from here. This question will give you more idea, and I will tell you everything associated with this situation. Just see here. For example, I have a RC circuit. Very important type of situation. Learn from here how to do all these situations, because important type of situation questions are asked from here. For example, I am giving this as 100 volt. First thing, you tell me which voltage is this. If nothing is mentioned, that means always we talk about RMS value of AC that behaves as DC. So RMS value of AC will be 100 volt. If nothing is given, it will be always RMS. If peak, then they will mention. So 100. Okay. This I am giving as 30 ohm, and this I am giving as 40 ohm. This I am giving as 30 ohm, this I am giving as 40 ohm. This 40 ohm is your XC, this 30 ohm is your R. Okay, now just see how questions are asked. And all the questions which I will do here, all are very important. So I will start from here. We have less space. First question is asked. Find Z of the circuit. Can you find Z? You tell me, does impedance will be 30 plus 40, 70? No. You know Z will be under root of R square plus XC square, because both will be perpendicular. Just now you studied that will come under root of 30 square plus 40 square. This will come 50 ohm. Okay. Second question. Find RMS current in the circuit. IRMS. I think everyone can get. IRMS will be VRMS by Z. That will come 2 ampere. Third question is asked. Find VR and VC. I think you can get I into R. I you got, R is 30. So VR will come, how much it will come? 60. Similarly, VC you can find. I into XC. It will come 80, and you can see net under root of 60 square plus 80 square will come as 100. Fourth question, they will ask you now find phase difference. So you can find phase difference. Tan phi will be equal to, sir, tan phi we can get. Just now we studied how to find, or you can take help of cos phi also. So just now we studied tan phi will be our XC by R. That will be coming as 40 by 30, that is 4 by 3. Someone asked you find power factor, cos phi. Cos phi will be equal to R by Z. So R you know, what is R? 30. How much Z came? 50. So power factor will be coming as 3 by 5. Can you tell me who is leading here? Obviously, due to capacitance, current will lead. So I leads V by tan inverse 4 by 3, or you can say 53 degree. So this is one situation that we have got, and you can see more questions from here in your notes also, and you have studied. If you want, you can write also. Now we will move to one more situation where we will talk about RL circuit. Second circuit we are going to talk, that will be our RL circuit. What is meaning of RL circuit? You will have resistance and you will have inductance. And now it will be easier because you understood the first one. So same thing will happen here also. So first thing, R will be there, L will be there. This L will have XL. If it is not given, they will give you L. You can find XL as omega L. They will be again connected to one AC source whose RMS value will be given as V. Now again same thing will happen. They will ask you find VR, how to relate VR, VL and V. They will ask you find Z. And I think again you can get idea how these things is happening, or I will just tell you to see. So here if you see, again you will do like that. So I will be saying, sir, let's assume current in this direction. For resistance, sir, for resistance I know current and voltage both are in same phase. You can see here, that's why I am writing VR and I. And current will be same here also, same here also, because they are connected in series. But for inductor, VL will be not in this direction. For inductor, current lag, means voltage lead. By how much it will lead? Pi by 2. You can say it is leading by pi by 2. So this is your V net. Again in the same manner, your V net will come. V net will come under root of, sorry, this is VL. V net will come under root of VR square plus VL square. Now from here, same manner if you will do, you will get Z as under root of R square plus XL square. Similarly, if you calculate, you can get this phi, you can get this tan phi. Tan phi will come now perpendicular by base, that is VL by VR. VL by VR. You can write VL as I into XL, VR as I. So this will finally give you XL by R. Cos phi you can write directly R by Z. That is base by hypotenuse. That R by Z will come. That is R by under root of R square plus XL square. Okay. So same formula came. But there is difference. Can you tell me that difference? Their current was finally leading. Here current is finally lagging. You can see here. This is your V net. This is your I. You can see who is forward. Voltage is your forward. That means here I lags V. But angle is less than pi by 2. Now same type of question will be asked that we got here. We'll study one question later on. So this is how we can talk about this situation. So what are the points you have to keep in your mind? Again, value of Z will be under root of R square plus XL square. If XL is not given, they will give you omega, they will give you L. So XL will be equal to omega L. Now again, don't think V will be equal to VR plus VL. No, V will be equal to under root of VR square plus VL square, because both are at 90 degree. Now if you know Z, you can find I RMS, V RMS by Z. You can find I maximum current, that is root 2 times of I RMS. Then you can find phase difference, that is your phase difference will come XL by R, perpendicular by base. Or for phase difference also you can use this, because phi you can calculate. Cos phi will come R by Z, which is our power factor. So this is how we have talked about. Now so this is how we can do questions related with RL circuit. Now we will move to our next circuit, and that will be the most important circuit. that is our series LCR. Now you can see till now RC separate, RL separate, but now all three are together. And how things will happen in this situation, most important situation, mainly questions in NEET are asked from here. So be focused, just see here. That means, sir, R will be there, sir, C will be there, and L will be there. Okay, so R, C, L, and R will have R, C will have XC, L will have XL. I'm again writing here. All these three are connected in series to a source, giving voltage V. Which voltage is this? Tell me again. RMS voltage. Okay, no problem. Now, actually tell me, can I write here this V as Kirchhoff's law? Can I use this V as VR plus VC plus VL? No, you cannot write. Or can I write this V as under root of VR square plus VC, which we did previously? Can I write this V as under root of VR square plus VC square plus VL square? You have to know, you cannot do this also. So you have to go again with the help of diagram. That will give you more idea. Just be focused. Just see, can I write Z as under root of R square plus XC square plus XL square? No. Again, you have to go in little detail. Just see what I am trying to tell. Just see. So again, same diagram I will draw. Nothing new. I will again say, so let's assume current in this direction. For resistance, what will happen? Voltage will also come in the same direction. But for capacitor, you know, voltage will lag. You know, for capacitor, voltage will lag, current will lead. This is VC. Now, for inductor, what happened? Voltage leads, current lag. VL. Now you tell me, does they are perpendicular? Now they are opposite. So if you draw the diagram, if you draw this net diagram, it will come like this. This is your VR, this is your I, and let's assume, for example, VL is more than VC. You will get VL minus VC. So now net voltage, if you find V net, that V net will come under root of this important situation, VR square plus VL minus VC square. This is the value. Why? Because VL and VC, because one is leading by 90, one is lagging by 90. So both will come in opposite direction now. For example, if this is a reference line, if I am forward from this reference line, I am clockwise from this reference line by 90 degree, and I am anti-clock by 90 degree. So both will come in opposite direction. So net will become either VL minus VC, whatever is more, or you can write VC minus VL also. So this is how. And if you see from here, if you use this, you will get now Z as, same process we are doing, under root of R square plus XL minus XC whole square. Or if you want, you can write XC minus XL also. Nothing will happen because the square is there. Second thing, first situation we got this. Second is this. Again, someone asks you find your phase difference phi. So you can write tan phi. If you want to calculate tan phi, you can find tan phi. VL minus VC by VR, that will come XL minus XC by R if XL is more, or it can also come XC minus XL if XC is more. You can find power factor also, cos phi, R by Z. Z you have got here, you can put here R square plus XL minus XC whole square. Now, this is what we have got here. This is what we have got here. Now, you tell me what will be now I will go in little detail. If you know Z, you can find IRMS also, VRMS by Z. You can find peak current also, root 2 times of IRMS. All these things will be there, same thing, nothing new. So what you have to study, what you have to remember in series LCR circuit, L and C both are opposite. So their net voltage will come VL minus VC or VC minus VL depending who is more. So V net will come under root of VR square plus VL minus VC whole square, or Z will come under root of R square plus XL minus XC whole square. And from here we can get tan phi phase difference, we can get power factor also, and we can get IRMS also. IRMS will come, sir, VRMS by Z. Okay, no problem. One conceptual point comes here. You tell me what is difference if XL is more? Formula, everything will come same, nothing new. If XL is more or if XC is more, what is difference between those two situations? Always remember, if XL is more, behavior of your overall circuit will be like RL circuit, because C is cancelled. Understand what I am trying to tell? If your XL is more, overall behavior will be L and R. If XC is more, overall behavior will be C and R. So questions are asked from here and you can get. So if XL is more, means XL is more means it will cancel XC, still some value will be left. That means LR, that means voltage will lead. If XC is more, tell me what will happen. If XC is more, then overall behavior will be RC circuit and current will lead voltage. So this is what we have got here. So for example, let's do one question from here, just to give you more idea. For example, if I am saying like this, all these are very important type of question. All these questions are asked in your various exams. This I am giving as 30 ohm R. XL I am giving as, for example, this I am giving as 50 ohm. XC I am giving as 10 ohm. Oh, this is your XC and this is your XL. Connected to AC source of 50 volt. Question. First question. I will do all types of questions which can be asked. First question. Find Z. So under root of 30 square plus 50 square plus 10 square. No. These two will be always in opposite. Don't think 50 and 10. No. It's actually 50 minus 10. That is 40. 40 and 30 square. 50 will come. Or you can use formula also. Under root of R square plus XC. XC is more. So XC minus XL. That is 50 minus 10. 40. 40 square. So Z will come 50. Second, IRMS. I think you can get VRMS by Z. That is 50 by 50. That will be coming as 1 ampere. Third, find VR. So VR 30 will come. I into R. VC I into XC 50 will come. I XC 50. VL I into XL 10. And you can see 50 square, 30 square, and this 50 minus 10, 40, 40 square will be again 50. So this will be again valid. Fourth one, power factor, cos phi, R by Z. What is R? 30. What is Z? 50. 3 by 5. Or you can calculate phase difference also. Phi will be coming as 37 degree. 53 degree. Because cos 53 is 3 by 5. But conceptual part. Tell me, what will be behavior of this circuit? Will it behave as RC circuit or RL circuit? Think. Will current will lead or current will lag? Its behavior will be RC. This is what I said. Actually, out of this 50, 10 will cancel this XL. Remaining 40 will be there. So C will remain, R will remain. So overall behavior of this series LCR circuit will be your RC circuit, where current leads V by how much angle? By 53 degree. So this is what we got here. This is what I think everyone understood. So this is the process that you have to follow, and now you can go through various questions which are asked from here. These are the important things that we need here. I will give you one more question. Let's talk about one more situation. For example, this is 10 volt drop across this. They may connect a voltmeter. This is for example 20 volt. This is for example again 10 volt. Can you tell me what is this VNet? So VNet will be 10 plus 20 30, 30 plus 10 40. No, you cannot use like that. Never think these two as separate. These are actually same thing but in opposite direction. So if this is 20, this is 10, so their net will come only 10. Now this 10 will be perpendicular, so under root of 10 square plus 10 square 10 root 2 will come. Or if you want, you can use formula also. 10 square plus VL minus VC. VL is more, so 20 minus 10, that is 10. 10 square. So answer will come 10 root 2. Can you tell me what is its overall behavior? RL circuit or RC circuit? L is more. That means behavior will be your RL. Can you calculate power factor? Yeah, power factor you can find cos phi R by Z. R by Z, or you can say VR by E, total VNet. So that will also come 1 by root 2. Phase difference you can find 45 degree. Arey Baba, you can see here. Power factor R by Z. R means VR. Z means VNet. So from here we can do. Now let's move towards one very important situation related with our same LCR circuit. L is there, R is there, C is there. But one important situation we will talk. So see, what I said just now, this was our R, this was our L, this was our C, connected to a AC source whose RMS voltage is V. This is R, this is XL, this is your XC. You got the value of Z under root of R square plus XL minus XC square, or you can write XC minus XL square, whatever is more. Now I will talk about one special case here, and 90% of situation asked in NEET from here are related with that special case. Understand? Be 100% focused. Just see here. As you tell me, if someone says you, for example, someone gave you value such that this XL and XC both are equal. Someone says, sir, if XL and XC both are equal, if both will be equal, they will cancel each other. Till now what was happening? Either this was more or this was more, so they were not cancelling each other. But if someone says you, sir, if XL and XC both are found to be equal, if both will be equal, then what will happen? If both will be equal, your Z will become minimum. And once your Z will become minimum, current in the circuit will become maximum. This is known as resonance LCR circuit. Understand what I am trying to tell? What happens if you have XL, XC and R? Someone says, sir, okay, I know how to find R. I know how to find Z. But if someone says, sir, if XL and XC both become equal, then what will happen? If XL and XC both will become equal, they will cancel each other. Once they will cancel each other, Z of the circuit will become minimum. And once Z will become minimum, current in the circuit will become maximum. This is known as resonance LCR circuit. So just see, at resonance, if it is in resonance, that means your XL and XC both will become equal. And once XL and XC both will become equal, you can also find the omega at which they will become equal. Because XL is omega L, XC is 1 by omega C. So omega will come 1 by root LC. And you can find frequency also. Omega will be 2 pi f. So f will be coming as 1 by 2 pi root LC. This is known as resonance frequency. So this is the whose frequency is this? AC source. If your frequency of AC source is this, in that situation what will happen? XL and XC both will become equal. Once they will become equal, they will cancel each other. Once they will cancel each other, Z will become minimum. Once Z will become minimum, current in your circuit will become maximum. That condition is known as resonance LCR circuit. And what is condition for that? Omega should be 1 by root LC. Frequency should be equal to 1 by 2 pi root LC. Okay, now see what will happen. Now that means, sir, once they will cancel each other, our circuit behavior will be purely resistive. Only it will behave because L is there, C is there. So you'll be saying, so it should behave as LCR circuit, but it will not behave as LCR circuit because at the time of resonance, these two will cancel each other. So once they will cancel each other, there will be no effect of L and C. And once there will be no effect of L and C, your circuit will start behaving as purely resistive circuit. Behavior of LCR circuit at the time of resonance is purely resistive. No, nothing will come. No reactance will come here. Purely resistance. And you can write the value of Z also. Z will become, these two will cancel, Z will become R. And once your Z will become R, you will start getting current in the circuit. I RMS will become V RMS by Z. What will be Z? Z is minimum, that is your R. Once this is minimum, current in the circuit will be maximum. Now someone asks you find phase difference. So you can find cos phi power factor R by Z. Z is also equal to R. So R will come 1. That means phi will be 0. Phase difference between current and voltage will become 0. And that means 0 means purely resistive circuit. And whatever the drop you are seeing here, since XL and you know XL will be, sir, potential drop. VL will be I into XL. VR, VC, I into XC. Since both are equal, you can see both are equal. XL and XC both are equal. So this potential drop will be also equal. And net potential, you know, both will be in opposite direction. So net potential across these two combination, both will have same potential across each other, but net potential across these two combination will become 0. And whatever the drop you will have here, you know, V net will be under root of VR square plus VL minus VC. VL and VC both will be equal. So whatever V net you will get, VR will come same as your V net. That is our V. So what I told you, sir, in the case of series LCR circuit, sir, Z will be under root of R square plus XL minus XC square. But for somehow, sir, if XL becomes equal to XC, both will cancel each other. Z will become minimum. That means Z will be equal to R. And once Z will become minimum, suddenly circuit current will become maximum. And once current will become maximum, power factor will become 1. Phase difference will become 0. That means this resonance LCR circuit will behave as purely resistive circuit. No effect of inductance. Current will flow through both and their voltage will cancel each other. So whatever the voltage you will have here, same voltage will come here also. So these are the properties that we have got, and the frequency that at which this happens will be 1 by 2 pi root LC. Okay, no problem. Now just see how questions are asked. So first thing you tell me, what is condition for resonance LCR circuit? Sir, XL should be equal to XC. Omega should be equal to whose omega? Source omega. Omega should be equal to 1 by root LC. Frequency whose frequency? Source frequency. Omega frequency should be equal to 1 by 2 by root LC. Third thing, what will happen? So how will identify that resonance came? Current in the circuit will suddenly become maximum. And that maximum current will be simply V by Z, V by R, because these two will cancel each other. V net will be this. Here and here drop will cancel each other. So this is what we have got. What is power factor for resonance LCR circuit? Direct question, 2-3 times asked. 1. Phase difference will be 0. That means current and voltage both will come in same phase. So this is what we have got. Now understand how questions are asked from here. How questions are asked from here. Just see. Previous year question only I will talk. Once they gave question like this. Once they gave question like this. They said this is 100 volt. This resistance is 10 ohm. XL is also 10 ohm. This is also 10 ohm. They will not mention resonance is there. They asked. Find current in the circuit. Can you find? Yeah, first thing you will see, sir, XL and XC both are equal. That means this is resonance LCR circuit. That means these two will cancel each other. So Z will be equal to R. Or you can find also, sir, Z will be equal to under root of R square plus XL minus XC. 10 minus 10, 0 square. So Z will come 10. Someone asks you find RMS current. So IRMS will come 10 by 100. That will be coming as 100 by 10. That will be coming as 10 ampere. So this is RMS current. Now someone asked you find power factor cos phi. Cos phi you know R by Z. 10 by 10. That will be coming as 1. What is phase difference between current and voltage? 0. So this will behave as purely resistive circuit. Resistive circuit. Okay, no problem. Now someone asks you find potential drop across these two. So here potential drop IR. What is I? 10 R. This will be 10 volt. This is 100 volt. I into R. So this will come 100 volt. But along this combined, here also 100 will come. Here also 100 will come. But both 100 will be in opposite direction. So combined here will be your 0. Here you will be getting this value as combined voltage across these two. If you connect a voltmeter, you'll find that reading of this voltmeter will be 0. So this is how we can do all these situations. So now some more things we talk, that is about quality factor at resonance. So just one thing you have to remember, quality factor at resonance is XL by R, or you know at resonance XL and XC both will be equal. So this will be also equal to XC by R. XL is omega L. So omega L by R. XC is 1 by omega C. So 1 by omega C into R. Why I am writing XL by R or XC by R? Because XL and XC both will be equal at resonance. What will be omega? 1 by root LC. So this is how you can do all this situation for resonance LCR circuit. Okay, no problem. For example, I will give you one more question. Just see how to deal. For example, just to give you idea, question was asked in NEET, where they asked find, they connected voltmeter. They connected one voltmeter here. This is a previous year NEET question. They connected one voltmeter across these two combination, and here they connected one ammeter. They asked find reading of V1, V2 and ammeter. Can you do? Yeah, you can try. Why answer? How you will get? No need to do any calculation. Just you have to use your little bit of your understanding. You'll be simply saying, sir, when I'm seeing the circuit now, I'm finding XL and XC both are equal. If both are equal, that means they were not mentioned anywhere that this is resonance LCR circuit, but we know, sir, if both are equal, XL, XC equal means resonance. Resonance means these two will cancel each other. So what is reading of V2? 0. Cancelled. Third, sir, if they will cancel, whatever 100 volt we have, that will come here. So what is reading of V1? Whatever voltage we'll have, 10 volt. If anyone asks you current also you can find I RMS will be equal to V RMS by Z. What will be Z? Z will be same as resistance because these two cancel each other. So this is your 2. So 5 ampere. So this is what we'll get. V1 will come 10. V2 will come. How much V2 will come? V2 will come 0. And ammeter reading will come 5 ampere. So this is how questions are asked from here. So this is what we have got in resonance LCR circuit. So you tell me few things I will ask. What is the condition for resonance? XL equal to XC. From there omega will come 1 by root LC. Frequency will come 1 by 2 pi root LC. Third thing, you tell me at the time of resonance what happened? Z becomes minimum, current becomes maximum. Z value will be equal to R because XL and XC will be cancelling each other. Power factor will be 1. Phase difference between current and voltage will again become 0. That means it will behave simply as a resistive circuit. Whatever the potential you have for the source, all potential will drop in your resistance. No drop in combination of capacitor and inductor. Their potential drop will be 0. Whatever you have V net here, that will come here. So this is what is quality factor for resonance? Quality factor Q will be equal to omega L by R. What is omega? 1 by root LC. Or you can write Q as XL by R or XC by R, since both are equal. So XL by R or XC by R. XL will be omega L. XC will be 1 by omega C. What will be omega? 1 by root LC. So this is what we have got in different types of circuit which we get in our AC. Now we are going to talk about one more situation related with our circuit. Till now, capacitor, inductor, resistance, all three were present in the circuit. Always remember, resistance is a device which is used to waste energy. For example, if your bulb, electrical energy is converted into heat energy, light energy. So resistance always dissipate energy. Resistance always dissipate power. But if you look at inductor and capacitor, you have studied. Inductor is used to store energy. Capacitor is used to store energy. They never waste energy. So if you connect capacitor and inductor, for example, you have some energy with capacitor. You gave some energy to capacitor. And then you connected that capacitor to inductor. You tell me, does energy will be wasted? No, neither capacitor waste energy, neither inductor waste energy. Energy will oscillate between capacitor and inductor. This is known as LC oscillation. Understand how we'll be talking about. Just see here. You'll get idea. Just see. So, if someone says, sir, I have one inductor and if I have one capacitor. Ideal LC oscillation we are talking about. Ignore resistance anywhere. This is our L, sir. This is our C. You tell me. Does capacitor waste energy? No. Does inductor waste energy? No. But if you give some energy, for example, someone gives some energy to the capacitor. You tell me, does that capacitor will waste that energy? No. It will try to store. But since your circuit is closed, now it will start giving. It cannot keep with itself. It will give its energy to inductor. Now inductor will have, after some time, inductor will have some energy. Now tell me, does inductor will use that energy? No, inductor can also not use that energy. So inductor will again give that energy back to capacitor. Again what will happen? This again capacitor will give energy back to inductor. Actually both capacitor, inductor, both are a storage device. None of them uses energy. None of them waste energy. If you give some energy to capacitor, it will try to keep with itself. It is a storage device, but it cannot keep right now because circuit is completed. So it will give its energy to capacitor. Capacitor will give energy to inductor. Then inductor will again give to capacitor. Then again capacitor will give to inductor. So your energy will keep on oscillating. Same as your SHM. If you remember in SHM, kinetic energy converts to potential, potential converts to kinetic, kinetic potential, same thing will happen here. Energy of capacitor will convert to inductor, then inductor will convert to capacitor, again capacitor will convert to inductor. So this oscillation of energy is known as LC oscillation. So just see how to deal. Just see here. Someone says, sir, I can write, since they are connected together, so these two potentials will be same. So I can write from here, for capacitor we write potential as Q equal to CV, so V as Q by C, and for inductor we write V as L into di by dt, or minus L into di by dt. Both must be equal. Now from here we are moving towards equation of SHM. You'll get the idea. Just see here how we'll be talking about. From here what we can do, from here we can write one thing. So we can write this thing as Q upon, just bring this L here, LC, minus also you can bring here minus, and this will come as di. I you can again write as dq by dt upon dt. Now if you see here, minus you can separate, you can write this as 1 by LC Q, this will become d square Q by dt square. If you see, this is equation of your SHM. Only their position you talk about, their particle was oscillating with respect to its position. Here who is oscillating? Charge is oscillating. So you can get from here. And same, if you remember, you studied about SHM, d square x by dt square, that will be equal to minus omega square times of x. If you relate from here, omega square will come 1 by LC. So omega will come, frequency of LC oscillation, 1 by root LC, same as your resonance frequency. So there is no relation, just coincidence is there. So omega of LC oscillation will be 1 by root LC. So this is the first question which is asked. They will give you L, they will give you C, they will ask you find the angular frequency of LC oscillation. This is angular frequency. If frequency is asked, you can write 1 by 2 pi root LC. Now, so this is mathematically what we have got. And if you want, you can write Q naught also. You can write charge also, depending as equation of SHM. You can write charge Q equal to Q naught sine omega t, or you can write Q equal to Q naught cos omega t also. And so this is how we can write equation also. Okay, no problem. But important is not this. So first thing which we got, sir, capacitor, inductor both are storage device. If you give some energy to capacitor, it is connected to inductor, so energy will keep on oscillating. Inductor will give to capacitor, capacitor will give to inductor. So this oscillation is known as LC oscillation. Omega of that LC oscillation will be 1 by root LC. Now understand how questions are asked. And always remember, here two forms of energies will be there. I will relate with SHM. I will relate with oscillation which you have studied. You study in oscillation about kinetic energy. You study about potential energy. Here, what you have to keep in your mind, here, energy of inductor behaves as kinetic energy, that is half L into I square. And energy of inductor behaves as potential energy of SHM, that is Q square by 2C. So this is what we have got, and time taken to convert these two forms, you know, at extreme, potential, mean, kinetic. What is that time gap? T by 4. Time you can find from here because you know frequency, you can find time, so you can find the time in which this energy will convert to this energy will convert to this energy, and same type of situations are there. Understand what I am trying to tell you. This here I will relate from there. Important part, be focused. The C. In SHM you studied x equal to A sine omega t. Here what you studied, Q equal to Q naught sine omega t. Okay. In SHM you studied V max A omega. Differentiation of this. If you differentiate this, you will get current. Here you will study maximum current in the circuit, Q naught into omega. There you studied about velocity at any position x, V, A into under root of omega square minus x square. Here you will study, here you will study current when charge at any time when charge is Q. So you'll be getting this as Q naught. This is actually V equal to omega under root of A square minus x square. Here you'll be getting I as omega under root of Q naught square minus Q square. If you remember, there you studied about maximum kinetic energy, that is half m into V max square, that is A omega square. Here you will study about maximum energy of inductor, that will be coming as again K max we can do, that is maximum energy of inductor, that will be coming as half L into I max square. I max is your Q naught into omega whole square. So in the same manner you can relate all these things. You can relate all these things, and sum of total energy, that is the most important part, which I will give one numerical also from here. Sum of total energy will be constant. Kinetic energy at any time plus potential energy at any time, that is you can say here Q square by 2C plus half L into I square. This is the total energy. This total energy will be always constant. This will be equal to, this will be also equal to Q naught square by 2C, maximum energy of capacitor, or that will be also equal to half L into I max square. So this is what we have got here. So what I am trying to tell you, for LC oscillation, first thing, sir, L also stores energy, C also store energy. So energy will not be wasted, energy will oscillate between capacitor and inductor. That energy we can write, omega we can write 1 by root LC, frequency will be 1 by 2 pi root LC. Now kinetic energy will be treated as half Li square will be treated as kinetic energy. Why? Because it's same as half mv square, and you know mass same as inertia of the circuit. Inductor is also known as inertia of the circuit. So that's why here kinetic energy will come. Potential energy will be treated as Q square by 2C. Same type of results will come. I will tell you with the help of one question, you will get more better idea. So be focused. Just see here how question is asked. They will say you like this. They will say you a capacitor is there. I will say, sir, one capacitor is there. This capacitor has capacitance of 10 farad. I have charged this capacitor to a voltage of 10 volt. Now I connected to an inductor. For this inductor, L is given for example 10 Henry. First question, find frequency of this LC oscillation. So omega, if omega is asked, 1 by root LC, that is 1 by 10. If frequency is asked, you know omega by 2 pi, so this will be coming as 1 by 20 pi. Third question which is asked, now more important question will be asked. Find the maximum current in the inductor. So you can get, sir, maximum current I know, their velocity maximum was a omega, differentiation of displacement, here differentiation of charge, current, maximum current will be, sir, that will be our Q naught into omega. Q naught you can find C into V naught, that is 100. So 100 into omega, what is omega? 1 by 10. So maximum current will be coming as, how much it will come? 10 ampere. Or you can do like this also. Sir, maximum energy of this will be same as maximum energy of this. So half L into I max square will be equal to, maximum energy of this you can write Q square by 2C, that is 100 square by 2 into 10. Same value will come.